Hi everyone, my name is Eporeka Creation. Today I'll be making female pants. The measurements we are working with are waist 40, knee length 20. Knee length is from your waist to your knee length to your knee 20. Hip 46, thigh 28, round knee, which is the knee circumference 18, round ankle 15, length of the pants 41. Okay, for us to know how many fabric that we'll put on foot for this trouser, we are going to use the biggest circumference to measure it, the biggest measurement. So the biggest measurement that we're going to use is thigh. My thigh is 28 because thigh is divided into 2. Although my hip is 46, but hip is divided into 4. My hip is 46 divided into 4 is 11 and a half. But my thigh divided is 28. 28 divided into 2 is 14. So we're going to use thigh measurements. Okay, so 14 plus 3 inches. We'll add extra 3 inches, which is 17, but although I have more than that, I have up to 20. So, but the fabric you will put on fold if you're making your own is your thigh measurements divided by 2, then plus 3 inches. Okay, so 14, so this is 14 plus 3 inches, which is 17, but I have more than that, so the fabric will be enough. So this line, I marked this line here as a starting point, is ½ inch, and this side also ½ inch as a guide. Now I'm going to mark my crotch depth. For us to get it is hip divided into 4. So my hip is 46. 46 divided into 4 is 11 and a half. So I'll measure 11 and a half like this from this starting point line to 11 and a half. 11 and a half. 11 and a half. Okay. So this is 11 and a half. From here to this point is 11 and a half. So on this line, I'll take my hip measurements. I'll put my hip measurement on this line. My hip divided into 4 is 46 divided into 4 is 11 and a half. So from this point, I'll measure 11 and a half. So I'll connect it. Okay, so I'll connect this one also. Okay, so now we are going to get my crotch line here. So for us to get it, we're going to work it out. So what we are going is hip measurements. Hip equals to 46. 46 divided by 4 equals to 11.5. Then my thigh measurement equals to 28. 28 divided by 2 equals to 14. So now what we are going to do, 14 minus 11.5 equals to 2.5, 2 and a half. So what I'm going to mark here from this line is 2 and a half. Okay, so this crotch line is 2.5 inches, 2.5. Then from this point to here is my hip measurement, 11.5. 11.5. My hip measurement from this point to here is my hip measurement, 11.5, and this one is 2.5 inches for a crotch line, 2.5 inches. Then this line is crotch depth, which is my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 11.5. This line also. So now I'm going to take my waist measurement. My waist is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So I'll take it from here. So I will mark 10 inches here. This is 10. So from this line to here is my waist measurement, which is 40 inches divided by 4. So this is 10 inches. So from there I'll connect it to the line. I'll connect it to the hip line. So now I'll curve this part. So for you to curve this, you measure like 2.5, 3 inches here. Okay, this is 2.5. From there you curve it to this point. So let me go through it again. From this starting line to this line is my crotch depth, and for us to get it is hip measurement divided by 4. So my hip measurement divided by 4 is 46 divided by 4 is 11.5. So from here to here is 11.5. Then so 11.5, this line. So from this point starting this guide here, this line here to this point is 11.5. So is my hip measurement. My hip divided by 4 is 11.5 because it's 46. Is 11.5. From here to here is my hip measurement. So for us to get this crotch, we worked it out and we got 2.5. And from this line, from this is 2.5. From this line to this point is 2.5. Okay, so thigh measurement, round knee and ankle is divided by 2. Divided by 2. Divided by 2. Then hip and waist divided by 4. Okay, the full length of this pant is 41. So because I'll add 1.5 inches band, waistband, I minus 1.5 inches from the length. So you can see this is starting point, this is 1.5. So I minus 1.5 there. So I want to get my knee measurement. So my knee is 20, between 19, 20. I'll use 20. So from that 20, so this is the full length, 41, and this 2 inches is for seam allowance. This is 41, length 41, and then this 2 inches here, because it's 43 here, is for seam allowance. Okay, from this line to this point is 11.5, which is my hip measurement. So I want to get the midpoint. So the midpoint is 11.5 divided by 2. 5.75, which is 5 3/4. 5 3/4. So this is my knee measurements. So there I'll mark 5 3/4 also on that line. 5 3/4. I'll mark 5 3/4 till the length of so I'll mark 5 3/4 again here. Five 3/4. So I'll connect the line. Okay, this is my knee length from my waist to knee point, from my waist to knee here. So my round knee is my knee circumference is 18. 18 divided by 2 is 9. So here I'll put 9 here in this middle line because I want the trouser to be in the middle. I don't want it to be on the side. So 9, I'll put half of 9. Half of 9 is 4.5. I'll put 4.5 on this line. 4.5 here. So I'll mark here. I'll mark 9 here. So this is 9 inches for my 9 inches, which is half of 18 because this is on fold. This is 9 inches. So okay, my ankle measurement is my round ankle is 15. My ankle circumference is 15. So 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. So here 7.5, I'll divide 7.5 into 2 again, which is 3.75. So on this line, I'll put 3.75 on this side and 3.75 on this side. So I'll put it on this line, 3.75. So I'll mark from here to 7.5. So let me measure. So it's 7.5. So I'm going to connect the lines. So from here I'll use straight line. I'll use straight lower. Okay, on this crotch depth, we'll minus 1 or 1.5 inches from here on top, from this point. So I'm going to take 1.5 off so that the crotch will not be much. So I'll connect it like this. I'll connect it like this. I'll be cutting it out, but I will not cut it out now because I want to use it as a guide on the back one. but I'll cut it out when I finish. So from this starting point to this line is crotch depth. Crotch depth. Okay, I'm going to cut it out now. I'll fold this one like this. Then I'll cut this side also. This is same allowance, so yeah, the same allowance to fold it, to hem. So that's why I fold it like this. So I'll cut it out now. So this fabric that I used to cut the front part is 1 meter. The fabric came in pieces, is 1 meter. This is 1 meter of fabric. I use it for the front one, so I've got this one left. So here I'll cut out the starting point, but I'll cut this one off also. I'll cut it off, but I want to use it as a guide for the back one. I'll trim this part. Before I trim it, I'll put it in here. I don't want this to. I'm cutting this starting point off. So, but this one, I'm not going to cut this one now because I'll use it as a guide for the back parts. Okay. So, like this one, I'll cut this one off when I finish. This is the front part. I put it on top of another fabric to get the back one. But when you're doing that, make sure you have enough fabric, like up to 3 inches on top of this side. And on this side, make sure you have enough, like 3 inches or 4. So, I have 3 inches here. Okay, so here I'll measure 2. I'll add 2 inches here. So I added 2 inches here from this line, from this line this starting point line on the front part, so it's 2 inches, you see. So because the back part is bigger than the front part, so this is 2 inches from the starting point of the first one, because I told you that I want to use this as guide. So from that starting point I added 2 inches. You can see this is 2 inches, so I'll connect it like this from this line too. I'll connect it like this. So here I'll add 3 inches here. Make sure you have enough here. So on here waistline, I'll add 2.5 or 3. You can add 3 inches, you can add 2.5. I'll add 2.5. I added 2.5. You can add 3 inches. It's for seam allowance because and ease, because I didn't add any seam allowance on the front one. So the whole seam allowance I'll add it on the back one. So I added 2.5, but you can add 3. So here 3 inches. So I'll connect the line. So here I'll add this place I added 3 inches here, you can see. So this side I'll add 2.5, 3 inches. I'll add 2.5 here. I'll add 2 inches from here, knee length. Okay, from knee length I added 2 inches. 2 inches to the ankle, 2 inches here, all these ones 2 inches. So now I'm going to connect the lines. So I'm going to connect the lines. Then I'll use the straight one here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to cut this off. This is the front part, this 1.5 inches. I'll cut it off to reduce the crotch. I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it now. waistband, the band here is going to, I'll put gun stay or interfacing or a stay on it. I'll iron it on it. So my waist is 30, my waist is 40, but the length of this is 44. I added 4 inches, so I'll fold it, then fold 1.5 again, then before I'll join it, I'll use this one as seam allowance to join it. So this is the front one, the front part. I didn't add any seam allowance on the front one. All the seam allowance is on the second one. I use 2 meters of fabric. This is the back one. This is the back part. So all the seam allowance, I added it on the back one, not on the front one. Okay, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. If you like my video, please give me thumb up. Click the like button for me. Thank you.